was going to continue to develop the rubber band prints that we did in the last video, and I wanted to add some interest to these. I like to make collage papers, you know, to have in my stash. That's my big push, my big love, and what I like to have on hand. So I was looking at those and I thought they would be really neat if I added some color. And it's dreary and winter here, and I'm just kind of craving some color. So I thought I would show you what I did just to further along these little pieces. Again, these can be taken further in other processes. We can cut them up again. We can dye them with tea or coffee. We can do washes over them or plaster. So these are just really fun little stash to have on hand. And I like to do, you know, these exercises. It's just kind of a meditation activity. So I thought I would do that today with you. I cleaned off my paper. So I have a little stack of these blotter papers that I work on top of. And I thought I would work with those today just because I think it's fun to use and recycle. And I like the fact that there's a lot of texture and there's some already things going on these pages. So I thought we would work with those today, and I'll probably just do one of these. So let's start with this one. And I grabbed out some acrylic paints, just your favorite colors. I was, like I said, craving summertime, so I went with some bright colors, and I don't usually do that, but I thought today would be fun to just kind of break away a little bit and bring out some brighter colors. So I have some reds, some oranges, yellow. I grabbed my Payne's gray, and I'm just gonna do really loose little abstract on these with I use two different brushes, and I honestly just kind of go for it, and I don't plan this at all, and I mix my brushes and the paints on them and just kind of start playing and laying down some interesting color on top of what's already here. So one thing I do think when I'm doing this and I'm using the same brush is that I don't want to muddy my colors. And I am not like that well versed on color theory. I think it's more intuitive what I know, like together turns brown. But kind of pay attention. If that's a problem for you, just grab out, you know, more brushes and you know, work back and forth. Have a brush for yellow and have one for red. And so we're just going to do a quick wash. You can make marks, blend into each other a little bit. Use some different sizes. You'll start getting browns and grays when you start mixing. So that's kind of interesting. It's a good learning process too. see I'm using very little paint, and it's easier to control and use less, and you can always go back over. It's harder to when you have a lot of paint and you're trying to spread it around. So I just kind of try and work with small amounts of paint. All right, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. I'm gonna dry it real quick. I want a little green, and this green was the yellow and the Payne's gray mixed together. So I'm just gonna drop a little there. See if I can get that. Brightish green. So if you have too much paint, you can always come in and just scrape it off with a scraper or some paper towels. And then I also like to maybe make a few marks if there's a little bit of wet paint left. Just kind of adds a little bit of interest. This dried pretty quickly. Okay, so I'm liking that. I'm going to dry it. I'm going to add a little bit more of that pop with my finger in a couple different places. And remember, we're completely cutting this up, and this is just a first layer, so don't get stuck on it. You can go really quick. I'm probably even taking a little more time than I usually do, but that's a good start. So this was the one that I did before in my little pieces. I'm going to go ahead and dry this. Okay, it's pretty well dried. I want to come back on top of this orange, like this coral color, and add a little yellow. Just a quick little extra. A like that. And then you can like add in some marks with like a pencil if you want to. I always love the way that looks. So just have fun with this. You know, maybe some pastels would be fun on this. Just a little. This is a China marker that fell apart. So that's good. That's a good start. You can do, you know, as much as you want, as many layers as you want. But now we're going to add this into back onto our papers that we marked on with the rubber bands technique. And let's make sure that this is dry. I like to take a big scissor and just kind of start breaking this apart into strips. So I'll do like 3 strips. And then I also like to do some round shapes, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that out of one of the strips. I like these little shapes too, so these are fun. I like how there's some white showing through still, and then there was some black on that paper. It was like an underlayment paper. And I'm gonna leave. I like how that looks too. All right, so we've got our strips. I also wanted to do, let's see, did we cut a circle? We cut a couple circles. And I'm just looking at adding, you know, 1 or 2 pieces to this. And it's not a lot of thought put into it. I just want to keep adding layers and interest to my little collage papers. So just go with your feeling. I'm using a gel matte medium, and I want it really thin. I don't want to put too much because it makes the paper hard. And you can see like I'm getting a lot of it picked back up. So I really like that, and I would probably find maybe something like that. So I'm going to put the gel medium on the back of the paper, and then I'm going to use my painter's squeegee. I think I got these at a body shop or a hardware store, and they work really good and they clean off really well. And I just want to make sure that that's pretty well down. And I'll set those aside and then just keep working through most of these. Taking cues from the marks that are on there already, and just intuitively adding papers. have your little edges coming up a little bit, just go around. Especially on the circles, it seems to do that. So I love that. I think I'll put a piece, contrasting piece down there. Remember, these are going to be cut up again, so just use your kid-like have fun with it. Do one more. You can see these go really quickly, and you can sit down and do a whole stack, you know, in a matter of 30 minutes or so. But just go back and forth and embellish these papers farther along. So that's that technique. Really quick, fun, intuitive collage papers. And I would love to see what you do. So tag me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm Amy Irell. And have fun with this technique and use up pieces, you know, of your stash that maybe you're not that fond of. And yeah. Super fun. Thanks for joining today. Hope to see you soon. Bye.